Hotep, Black Power, giving honor to the Creator and the ancestors, giving honor to my sister, as she's in ancestral realm, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul, my father, my in-laws, and all my relatives and brothers and sisters, and all our ancestors who sacrificed their lives for our existence that passed during the Middle Passage. As you know by now, those who know me by now know that I don't honor and celebrate those holidays. But I'm just going to, for the sake of just, giving honors to the mothers, and not only the mothers, all the queens, period. All the queens, those who are not in their element, and those who are functioning on a goddess frequency. I want to take a time to honor all of them and explain to you, exactly what, where I'm going with this, So, Mother's Day is every day. Mother's Day is when you pay, her mortgage in November. Mother's Day is when you take, we take your mother out in June or January to dinner. And for those who have parents, mothers and parents who have gone to the ancestral realm, this is one of the reasons why I don't honor and celebrate these holidays, based on the fact that people can get over emotional and get caught up in this European holiday, where knowing that if you look our history up and look at Roman history up and this crackers history up in terms of his ancestors, they have a disdain for women. And so they only pick one day out of 365 days a year, to honor, their females and their mothers, opposed to us as we practice African traditions. It's just innate in us to practice these days each and every day. And so I say this to prevent people from sitting around moping and crying and whatnot, and being over emotional over one day, especially those whose parents are ancestors. They're ancestors every single day. So don't pick one day where, this cracker, these Eurocentric holidays, this divisive shit plays on your emotions. And also to keep you abreast and aware that those who are in the ancestral realm are here with us every day. Who do you think is responsible for your decision making, the majority of your decision making each and every day? Those are the ancestors. We've been trained to disregard our own ancestors, our own DNA, our own lineage, and give credence and credit and honor and praise to some non-existent deity, and which we know didn't exist, but we're just going along with the protocol because it's been handed down to us, along with an enormous amount of fear that's attached with that Eurocentric holiday, and these people are with us each and every day. I'll give you an example. When you're in your daily walk and you come out your mouth and say, something told me not to do that, that something was your ancestors. Those people that are in the ancestral realm, and to ensure that it's real, because we all have to go. That's the assurance that the ancestral realm is in full blast in full existence. So we need not to fall for this Eurocentric shit and be around, Sunday moping and crying. Oh, of course we miss our people that have moved on, but at the same time, that's all it is. They've just moved on. Because my sister who's moved on to the ancestral realm. I'm not going to allow myself to get caught up in the Eurocentric mindset of being over emotional and what have you, based on the fact that I connect with that queen on a regular. And even when you function on a high frequency, you have access to those energies and to those people. And those who don't function on a high frequency at their particular time don't have access to those energies and to those people. And that's where the disbelief comes in there. But in order to actually have that experience and have access to that particular realm, you have to function on a high frequency. Meaning dealing with the African ancestral principles that was given to us, given to our ancestors, from the time that we first came into existence, by us being the first and the original people. So I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm hoping that it comes clear to you. And for those who do have their parents or one parent or two parents still in this realm, you just have to understand and not get emotional for one particular day, because I see our people every day, every year. I couldn't get this and that for this particular day, and so that determines how you're going to be feeling as an individual inside, which is totally off base. So, my suggestion is to, understand and disregard these, these days that have been singled out, that's been given to us to just honor, those who have ascended before us, and that goes back to slavery, where on the plantation, you're allowed to just reminisce and reflect back on your ancestors or your parents that have moved on, who were murdered and raped and pillaged to death and whatnot, that you're given this one day to honor them, where they allow you to, connect with those individuals, which is totally fucked up, because that's why the holidays have a strong connection with slavery, such as Independence Day, and I'll get to that, in about another 30 days, because I'm going to bust that shit wide open, but this is just, for those who have parents, which all of us have parents, whether they're in this realm or on the ancestral realm. We honor them each and every day, and we stand up as true Africans, as true kings and queens and gods and goddesses, to give them, their just due, not just on one day, So, I wanted to do that prior to that day, Sunday coming, because I know Sunday, the social media waves will be flooded with this bullshit, But I wanted to give you all, a brief synopsis of where I'm at with this and what I've been practicing for the last 25 years, and how it has worked for me. And how clear it has made me become into seeing, the origins of these, I call them holidays, the origins of these holidays. And that's giving props to Dr. Barashango. Yeah. Now, what I want to talk about this Lonzo Ball, you know, coming out with these tennis shoes, with his own brand of tennis shoes. That they're asking $495 for a pair of tennis shoes. Now, you know, Jordan, who's already who charges these ridiculous prices, which has caused the death and murder of so many of our babies across the United States. So many, hundreds and thousands of our babies have been murdered trying to purchase a pair of Michael Jordan's fucking tennis shoes for $200 and $300. You know, now you have this nigga who he has 3 sons that are playing college ball. They haven't went to the pros yet. They have their own tennis shoe. They have 2 pairs. This motherfucker has 2 pairs. One for $495 and one for $995. In other words, one pair is $500, one pair is $1,000. And the difference between the shoes is the $1,000 tennis shoe just has his personal signature on it. Now here we have an individual. It's three brothers that have not even went and played professional basketball yet. Now, and they have their own tennis shoe. I have nothing. The only thing I have against that is 2 things. You know, now, who's going to be able to afford these shoes? How many casualties will there be behind these shoes? That's the main thing. That's the main thing. You know. And motherfucker haven't even went pro yet. But the good thing that I like about this is that the father who's running the show with this shit, you know, he doesn't have to answer to anybody. You know, he calls his own shots. He's not under anybody like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is under Nike, which is a whole array of board of directors or what have you. So he really doesn't call all the shots totally. Opposed to, you know, Lonzo Ball, you know, calling all the shots, doing something that no one has ever done in terms of this entrepreneurship, you know, and you know, this coming to the sports world and to the athletic gear world, you know, with total control and total dominance over their own product. I take my hat off to them. However, I'm just focusing on how many of our babies will be murdered over these shoes. And the only way this won't happen, we won't have any casualties and none of our babies will be murdered, is that the youth have no interest in the shoe. Now, if they don't like the shoe, they don't want any parts of it, then more than likely we'll have a low homicide rate in terms of our babies doing whatever it takes to get these shoes. You know, so but at the same time, the entrepreneurship, the idea, the concept, you know, the balls that it takes to stand up on your own, I commend them for that. And that's all I commend them for. You know. So once again, and then we have to see how productive these brothers are going to be at the professional level. They could get injured. They could be some bums. They could be non-productive with outrageous contracts, because I heard that within the three of them, he's going to be the father's going to be asking for $1 billion in terms of NBA contracts. So we have to see. We'll have to see what's going on with that. I want to talk about Suge Knight now. Just a brief synopsis of Suge Knight. Now, I'm no Suge Knight fan by a long shot. Please don't get it twisted. However, I understand how the media has portrayed him to be a fucking straight up monster. Now, he's done some fucked up shit. But when you look into a lot of the things that has taken place with Suge Knight, such as the good things, you know, some of the positive things that he has done, you know, especially in the community of South Central Los Angeles, you know, such as the toy giveaways to the children, you know, the turkeys, the dinners, not just giving away those beat up turkeys. I'm talking about, you know, having his hands, being hands-on with all of this, having dinners for all Compton residents in the hood, you know, paying people's mortgages, buying, you know, some of the unfortunate people in the hood cars to get back and forth to work, paying 50 and 60 people's rent and mortgage at one time. You know, let alone, you know, sign and park out. And the reason why I said sign and park out is because even though he was responsible for paying that bail, I mean, it was 2 or 3. He just didn't come out of his pocket with $1.3 million. Let's just put it like that. You know, it came from 3 different sources. However, he took full responsibility for that. When Jimmy Iovine, Ted Feilds, and all these other motherfucking devils left Pac in jail and publicly stated that they were sick and tired of Pac. Ted Wally and all these David Kenner and the rest of these motherfucking faggots. But at the same time, you motherfuckers right now fighting for control of Pac's estate. But yet you couldn't get when he really needed you motherfucking devils. You couldn't produce. And let me be honest with you. You know, people talk about Suge and being, you know, a gorilla and all this shit. I know a lot of you motherfucking entertainers right now could use a motherfucker like Suge Knight with 50 goddamn goons that come in one of these motherfucking executive offices that you got a record deal with, you know, and get the real money that you'll do. A lot of you could use a mob like that Suge Knight had. You know, but since the crackers couldn't control him, they painted a picture of a fucking devil. Because Suge dominated and cornered the market in the motherfucking Gansta Rap game. Now, this is the issues that I have with Suge. How the West Coast was used by these motherfucking Jews, by these white so-called imposter Jews that runs the industry right now. You know, you got white Jews that run a black industry with black music. But anyway, what they did was take the positive rap out. They got rid of Public Enemy, you know, Brand Nubian, Grand Poobah, Gangstar. You know, I'm not going to mention Africa Bambaataa. I'm not going to mention that faggot. But his music was X-Clan. And they were replaced with this bitch hole killer nigga music. You know, that's the beef that I had with the West Coast music opposed to the East Coast music, where Eazy-E was used. Eazy-E was used. Everyone want to blame Eazy. He was used. You talking about people, you know, young brothers that have no idea of how a record business, a music industry is conducted. Knew nothing about signing contracts. Knew nothing about having an attorney present in various meetings, board meetings, and press conferences and things of that nature. You know, and they were used. And then next thing you know, we were calling the sisters bitches, and we were killing each other with no remorse and no regard. And it had got to the point where that became a part of a rites of passage street program initiation, where you had to take the life of someone that looks like you. Now just let that sit for a minute. And even Tupac, who was on the East Coast, which I don't blame him for going to the West Coast. This brother was being tormented by some racist motherfucking prison guards. I know, I personally experienced that too, like I told y'all. These motherfuckers broke my legs. So I know what this brother went through, coming from a bloodline of revolutionaries. Because the goal was not to murder Pac for his lyrics and all that shit. It was to destroy the revolutionary bloodline. That's why Afeni was murdered. You know, but we gotta wake up and see what's going on with these motherfuckers. These crackers sit back and play one against the other all motherfucking day long, and we buy into it. And then you have motherfuckers like Snoop Dogg who knows what's going on, who is a major participant in the destruction of his own people. How do you think this motherfucking nigga, this Doberman Pinscher looking motherfucking nigga, looks like the goddamn Geico goddamn lizard? How do you think this motherfucker ended up going on Martha Stewart, a white racist bitch, a cooking show, and he's supposed to be a goddamn Crip? And that's because he's agreed to let them fag him out. Snoop is a motherfucker. Snoop is a bisexual. And see what happened? They waited till, you know, Pac and Biggie were gone to start coming out of the closet with this bullshit. Dre, all of these motherfuckers. Why do you think you don't hear anything from Dre? Why do you think you don't hear anything from Dre? You don't hear nothing from, no response in terms of his sexuality, because when Tupac actually put it out there, you know, and if you listen to one of Dre's, I don't know if it's the Chronic or that 2001 or whatever, in the beginning of the album, the CD, it's a guy that's trying to get a record deal, and Dre tells him that he has to have anal sex with him to get the record deal. And they engage in anal sex in there. I forgot what album it is. I don't know if it's the Chronic. It's one of those albums. You know. And none of this stuff was happening when Pac and Biggie were on the scene. And Biggie was the worst casualty. He was murdered for nothing. You know. He was murdered due to the fact that these crackers wanted to implant the East Coast, West Coast rivalry in the minds of the black community. And it took us, some of us already knew what was going on, but refused to say anything. And then a lot of us caught on later on You know, literally after it was too late. But we still caught on. And that's how deep this game goes. Jerry Heller, who is an open motherfucking so-called white imposter Jew. Even in the movie Straight Outta Compton, when Ice Cube mentioned him being a so-called imposter Jew on the No Vaseline song, he openly stated that he would call his friends down at the ADL, which is Irv Rubin and Abraham Foxman, two crackers that are responsible for the attempted murder of Dr. Khalid Muhammad at Riverside College in 1994. Actually, this month, May 1994. They were, you know, they were complicit in the attempted assassination. Although James Best is fucking supposed to have been a reject from the Nation of Islam, who was best friends with John Muhammad, the supposedly DC sniper, was the one who was paid $25,000 by the ADL to murder Dr. Khalid Muhammad. And it was the same scenario as in Malcolm's assassination, which is coming up the 21st of this month. As you can see behind me, I have a picture of me and Dr. Khalid. You know, like I told y'all, when he used to always stay in DC, and I used to carry their books, and I was a student of them. And I never crossed them, I never betrayed them. You know, and when you want to talk about betrayal, look at brother Malik Zulu Shabazz. He was going around saying that it will be consequences for anyone saying that Dr. Khalid was assassinated. So why do you get mad when someone mentions that if it's not true? And then you also gave orders for those fucking punks to jump on one of the most revolutionary scholars and pioneers of black liberation. Spent 21 years in jail with Afeni Shakur, which was Deruba Ben Wahab. 70 years old. You all broke that man's jaw. I can never respect you for that. Never. And I used to look up to you. Now I look down to you now. But what goes around comes around. You just have to be clear about that. You got to remember that. Got to remember that. Keep that up front. You know. And, you know, just dropping, you know, some little tidbits on y'all. Little pieces of information, little pieces of history and information that you can go and do your own research and you can build upon that. But you know, like Suge Knight, back to Suge Knight, and Tupac. You know, Suge Knight wasn't the monster that people proclaimed him to be. Now, even to his current incarceration right now, which he has so much on so many of these crackers. That's the purpose of them keeping them in LA County Jail, the Twin Towers, and they're actually treating him like a goddamn animal, denying him adequate medical assistance and the like, and he's in solitary confinement, and they're hoping that he will make his demise in jail or somebody will kill him while he's doing time because of the shit that he has on so many of these motherfuckers. David Kenner, Jimmy Iovine, Ted Feilds, Reggie Wright. You know, because there's no coincidence that all the bodyguards, with the exception of Kevin Hackey, who was a fucking informant, that Kevin Hackey is the only one living. Michael Moore, Frank Alexander, who had an abundance of information concerning the assassination of Tupac. They're gone. Frank Alexander supposedly committed suicide. For what reason? When he had a book deal, he had a ranch and plenty of money. It's no reason. No reason. Michael Moore was just gunned down like a dog in the streets. Kevin Hackey went and turned informant on the Rampart scandal, where LA cops were going in the when they're going in the what you call that room, the evidence room, taking bricks and bricks of coke and heroin, putting it back on the street, giving it to motherfucking supposedly bangers and shit, and they were working for these two motherfuckers, and still that wasn't enough, and they were robbing banks. Rafael Perez and David Mack, Rafael Perez were robbing banks. Both are incarcerated. David Mack was recently killed in the prison yard because he had so much information to bring so many motherfucking police, LA cops down. So he was murdered. Kevin Hackey, he was a death row bodyguard, actually is the only one surviving, living one who's an informant today, who publicly stated that he had enough information where he could make an arrest by the end of the day on who actually pulled the trigger on Tupac. You know, but he's still walking around. You know, when they were doing this Straight Outta Compton movie, Ice Cube, they called Suge Knight down to the set. But what happened was the guy, Terry, I forgot his last name. He and the guy Bones, who was security on the set, told Suge he could leave, not knowing that they had Suge was asked, invited to come down there on the set to validate certain parts that he played in the Straight Outta Compton movie. So the guy, one of those individuals hit Suge Knight repeatedly in the car, and the other guy, Bones, who played it, who's an actor too, as well as he's still a gang member. He's an AP Blood, Athens Park Blood. He was about to pull a pistol and shoot Suge, and so that's why Suge ran over those brothers. That's why he ran over them. But the media portrayed him to be this animal that came down there in this rage and just ran over these brothers. That's not what happened. But I bet you, and this is for anyone that's in the entertainment business, whether you sing, whether you rap or whatever, you would love to have a Suge Knight and 50 of his goons come into the record exec's office and renegotiate your contract or give you the money that's rightfully due to you and protect you. And you know that. You may not speak on it, but deep down you know this. You know, they were just hating on this brother. And Suge was a goddamn, he did some old fucked up shit because Suge had a mind of a teenager. Even though he was a big 330-pound motherfucker, he was a fucking little kid. Cause he done some childish bullshit. Beating people up, making them strip naked and all that type of shit in the studio. You know. That's why I say I'm no Suge Knight fan by a long shot. But at the same time, you know, he's not the motherfucking demon that the media portrays him to be. Because there's a lot of people that got love for that brother. I don't. I love him as a black man. Because, like, once again, he's done some fucked up shit to people. But I believe his good may outweigh his bad, if not even. Because once again, like I said, he's done a lot for South Central. And I'll share something else with you. Maxine Waters had a situation in Texas where her son or her husband, former husband, or current husband, was caught up in some drug smuggling ring, and she called on Suge to go put in some work and eliminate the witnesses that could have put Maxine Waters' husband away for a long time. Like I tell you, I do research. I go all the way in. So, that's just some, that's just a little bit of information, because right now, this video, I'm just rambling, going back and forth with various, different topics and subjects, and I'm going to, be sharing some other things too. But I just wanted to drop some knowledge on these particular these particular situations and people, because a lot of our people are not, we're not informed. We're looking for drama. We're looking for footage of someone getting shot, somebody getting fucked up, because nobody wants to study. Nobody wants to read. Nobody wants to educate themselves. And I'm going to talk about some other stuff concerning Tariq Nasheed too on that Hidden Colors situation. The Tariq Nasheed situation with Hidden Colors. Something that I didn't know that was real fucked up. And it's gonna fuck you up when I tell you, if you don't know. Don't you know that Tariq, the Hidden Colors series, the DVD series, was financed and directed by white goddamn Jews. So Tariq Nasheed is not this motherfucking pro-black conscious motherfucker that done a whole bunch of research and put some shit together like people, he has people thinking. I was under the assumption as well. But he's just another motherfucking hotep hustling motherfucker. That's why I tell you, so you all look for the drama, you all look for the big stories. You all always looking for some dramatic bullshit instead of dealing with the fundamentals and basics. And then you wonder why you have trouble comprehending current events. Because number one, you don't pay attention to basic motherfucking situations. And this nigga has a Hidden Color series financed by motherfucking white so-called imposter Jews. And these motherfuckers, they get the bulk of the motherfucking money out of this, because they put the money up for production. So the motherfucking so-called white imposter Jews are eating off our motherfucking history, man. At the expense of this motherfucking nigga. This old Sidney Poitier, Timberland boot box head motherfucking punk. which don't make no motherfucking sense, man. You know, I get sick of these niggas, you know, playing these goddamn games with the minds of our people, man. You know, portraying to be this and portraying to be that, begging for motherfucking money on YouTube, making these excuses that a motherfucker will give such and such this much money and get this much money. But what are you giving the people in return if they do give you money? Some of you motherfuckers been eating off YouTube for a minute. And now that people are catching on to this bullshit that you doing, and they not pumping that motherfucking bread in your goddamn account no more, you want to make all these goddamn excuses, you know, as to why, you know, they're not giving you money. But think about before they stop giving you. Be grateful for what you were receiving. Because a lot of you motherfuckers are playing the 50. You got that information. You'll pump that information. But off camera, you just a piece of shit. You break bread with crackers. You talk to them over the phone. You're texting them. You're giggling with them. You're making fun of other motherfuckers that are trying to put out information. You assisting them in destroying motherfuckers' channels and all that shit, man. That's how I know your ass is hustling, man. And Tariq Nasheed, you know, fuck that information, man. I look at the morality of this shit, man. What type of character you got, bitch? It's fucked up. You know, you motherfuckers don't play fair, man. You are collaborating with the goddamn enemy 24/7, man. And I'm telling you, just like in the music industry, a lot of you motherfuckers started collaborating when Pac and Biggie left. A lot of you motherfuckers in the so-called conscious community and this revolutionary socialist committees and what have you. You start doing this bullshit when all the leaders, Collar, Steve Coakley, Dr. Wilson, Amos, when all these brothers and sisters, you know, ascended. Then you start playing this bullshit. All the way up to this motherfucking Polite. You know, this motherfucking, you know, New England field goat looking motherfucker. You know, who you know, have no problem taking money from the poor, man. Taking blood. Bleeding the have-nots, man. Because they look up to you, man. They look up to you motherfucking bitches. Because they think you're coming to bring them some liberation and some form of liberation. But you're not bringing it without the goddamn enemy. Being financed by the enemy. I can respect you more if you tell the truth. And Tariq Nasheed was, you know, putting this shit out about people duplicating these motherfuckers. Fuck them DVDs. You know, motherfuckers should duplicate them. Based on how you've been collaborating and playing with these motherfucking crackers. I get sick of you motherfuckers talking about bootlegging and all. I don't fuck that shit. You know, fuck that shit. You motherfuckers ain't sincere and committed in giving these people information. Somebody bootleg your shit, so what? I'm not saying shit. That's somebody that can't afford it. They're struggling to get conscious. But you have no regard. You don't even look at that part. I don't wanna duplicate none of you niggas shit. Cause all that shit I known about. Every DVD that's I knew about this shit 20 years ago. I've been making libation in the motherfucking late 80s, early 90s. I've been with this shit. Shit ain't just regurgitated motherfucking information. It's good for the people that are asleep to wake them up. You know, but don't think you can pull the wool over, you know, everybody's eyes, because there's some G's that's on top of this shit. You know, and this is for the upcoming G's, you know, because it's a lot of y'all, male and female, you know. Look up to yourself. Everything that you're looking outside yourself for is inside of you. You are a black god and black goddess. Don't fall for this bullshit. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. You know. You know, look at yourself. Study. Go to the real scholars that have passed on, and some that are still here. Get your pen and paper. Go back to the old school. Get down with the studying, reading and writing, so you can get the real truth. Because these DVD goddamn gangsters, man, not all of them, but I say 60% of them are on the hustle move. They really not concerned whether you get conscious or not. Their only concern is whether you duplicate one of their DVDs or purchase it, or come to one of their lectures where they can pretend like that they down, but they not down. I have no fear, no motherfucking nigga, no motherfucking man. And then some of you play like, you know, the word nigga and all this and bitch nigga and all that shit hurts your ears. If you sensitive to this type of shit, there's no way in hell you can claim to be a motherfucking warrior or revolutionary. When words pierce your motherfucker, these tiny words can upset you and pierce and throw you off base. You no way near in any type of motherfucker